What up, though? It's your boy Willie Styles in the building. Welcome to tonight's show. Thanks for joining us. We got a great show lined up for you guys. Everybody else should be in shortly. Everybody that's going to make it tonight. I believe Sonny and I think Danny might be coming in tonight too. So we'll be waiting on them in here in a second. But in the meantime, make sure you guys get over to our website over at gftradioshow.com. For all of our links to our socials, and join the conversation group. Make sure you get over at facebook.com/group/GFT, join the conversation, and check out all we got going on over there. Tons of great topics, memes, videos, things like that, to keep you entertained and to keep you having some good discussions. So make sure you do that, and then go over to your favorite podcast platform and check us out over there, and listen free on demand 24/7 to all of our past shows. So make sure you do that. What up, though, Dane?
Que paso? What's going on?
Shoot, just chilling. Make sure you guys get over to gftradio.creator-spring.com for all our merchandise. We got logo merchandise, our favorite sayings, accessories, things like that. So make sure, and apparel. So make sure you guys go check that out over at gftradio.creator-spring.com. So like I said, we got a great show lined up. We're going to be talking about what makes you think you're ready. We're going to be talking about relationships, and everyone normally is talking about what they want somebody else to bring to the table, what they want somebody else to do in a relationship. But tonight we're going to talk about what we should be doing to make ourselves ready and better in a relationship. What we think is best for us to be at our best, so that we can be great partners to our future partners or our current partners, as well as being prepared for things like marriage and long-term relationships. So we're going to talk about that tonight. What's up, Sonny? Oh no. Oh, there you go. What up, Sonny?
Hey.
All right. So we can go ahead and get started. I think this topic, I believe I saw this on our Join the Conversation group page, and someone was posted a post about what do we demand from others? Are we doing things to make ourselves prepared, and definitely sparked this question of what makes us think that we're ready for a relationship. We've definitely talked about not being ready, and definitely taking the time out to be at our best. But what does that look like? I want to talk about that. And I think we've all gone through that in the past. Some of us more recent than others, but let's talk through that first in terms of what have you done in the past to prepare yourself, or what are you doing now to prepare yourself for a relationship, or to just be better at the relationship you're in? You want to start, Sonny?
Just working on yourself. I think for me, I try to work on me, especially when you have different relationship ups and downs, and then you single for a while, and you have to try to get yourself together, or like work on yourself to not bring past stuff, or not let past stuff affect current
past traumas.
Yeah, so kind of working on yourself and making sure that you're communicating and just not bringing old stuff up in a new relationship, or not doing the same things that you did that caused the other relationship to work. Because sometimes we mess things up, and we need to work on ourselves to kind of fix it.
Right. Dane, what about you?
Not looking for the relationship is a key factor actually, because if you're not looking, you're actually making yourself better a person for, I guess, whenever you're ready to date. Because I've actually found myself in relationships without looking, because I wasn't looking for somebody, because for some reason it just doesn't work out the way you think. If you're dating somebody, maybe you're dating them, but they're not dating you.
Been
Because
there.
I've been in relationships where I was the only person in the relationship,
Hmm.
because we didn't see eye to eye on certain things, and I thought all this time we're spending with each other, um we weren't. But like Sonny said, basically work on yourself. You don't, then the other stuff will follow. Your past trauma will still come up anyway. Just how severe will it be when it does come up? How traumatic will it be in your current relationship, or your past trauma, if you work on yourself, truly work on yourself?
Mm, got you.
Yeah,
Got
that
you.
makes a lot. Yeah, that's facts.
Yeah. Yeah. I think sometimes, yeah, when you're looking for relationships, sometimes you can forget about the things you're supposed to be working on, or if you're like you said dating, and then you're like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna be doing this focus on this relationship versus finishing up any healing journeys, things like that, like Sonny was just talking about. Yeah, definitely agree with that. And that was one of the things I did in the past was go through that healing journey of getting over things that happened in the past, learning how to forgive or get past those things that I have been through, as well as being conscious of either triggers or trauma points where it'll be like these are things that make me either overly cautious, overthinking, things like that. So definitely wanting to be more conscious of the things that would make me less of a good partner, less of having a good relationship, because I may be putting my past traumas in on this current relationship or a new relationship that I'm looking forward to. One other thing that I did was taking a look at what I needed to work on. Trying to figure out, was I really at my best? Was I really, doing the things or prepared to do the things that I needed to do in a relationship? Um, and filling out that checklist basically of what I want to do, how I want to do it, and trying to understand, what that looked like. I think a lot of people will say, "I'm working on X, Y, Z. I'm trying to heal," but they may not even understand what that really means, or they may not know what that means for them. Because I definitely hear people always say, "I'm trying to heal," or "I'm healing from this last relationship," or "I'm getting over this past relationship." But if you ask them, or if you look at what they're saying about it, they're never really clear on what their plan of action is. And I think that's important to keep in mind. Yes, sir.
Now, I was going to make mention too. I just thought about it when you were talking about the healing process. Sometimes being in a new relationship can help you with that healing process, because maybe being by yourself all the time, trying to cope with whatever happened to you before, you're not
Mm-hmm.
seeing another side of it, and maybe having somebody, depending on what it is, having another perspective of it. Um, you 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 get another person's perspective of, hey, I didn't see that before, or I would never seen it. Just looking at it through my eyes. Maybe getting somebody who's objective to it, who doesn't know the whole story. I mean, maybe somebody who does know the story, or doesn't know the whole story, can help
Therapy,
you see it from a different perspective. You know what I'm saying?
and sometimes it takes good old fashioned therapy. I mean, because like
Mm-hmm.
we a lot of us like I was just talking about this with my cousin. A lot of us are carrying a lot of our relationship traumas or issues that we have with relationships from it could be something from parenting. Like you watch your parents do certain things, and so
Mhm.
you learn healthy and some very unhealthy things that you see, so you mirror it in your relationship, not realizing that you're doing the same thing, and you don't realize it till after the relationship is over that you were doing some of the things that, because that happens when we're parenting. You know, when you say, "Oh, my parents did this, so I'm not going to do this," and then you end up somewhat like them and doing some of the things they did, just a little different, or realizing that it's similar because you don't understand that you're bringing that in. And I think that like where if you see different things, like if you like when you see abuse or anything like that between relationships that you know, or you know, grown up around, you might think something is normal. That's normal to you, whereas to the person that you're dating, it's not normal. So you doing that and learning that behavior or seeing that, and it was a normalizing thing in your child, or normalized thing in your childhood, you know, you're bringing that into relationships, not realizing that it's unhealthy and it's not something that you should be doing. um,
Mhm.
or you know, a lot of us get that with our you know, women without some women without fathers have some type of issues, you know, with with looking for love in all the wrong places sometimes, and you just kind of gravitate towards something that's not healthy for you. Same with men. You have men that have mothers that abandon them. Certain things that they deal with the mom lacking love or not, especially like some, not, I don't want to say single moms, but like sometimes when as parents we we do these things, or we have these patterns and go through the stuff not realizing our kids are watching, right?
Right,
And
right.
then our kids deal with that into their life, and then you sometimes as parents, we don't see it, that is wrong, until we see our kids going through it or doing it, you know. So that in itself, and is understanding what's healthy relationship and what's not healthy, what's a good thing relationship, what's not a good thing relationship, and every relationship is not the same. So every approach and how you do things like, because I know for me, um I have friends, male friends, always tell me when I date, because I'm the head of my household. I'm
Mm.
not, as there's no man in my household. So for me, I have my male friends tell me, you meet a guy, like let him be a guy. I like, what does that mean? Like, you can say that to me, but like, what does that mean? And I have to understand what that means and kind of grasp that concept, because if I'm not used to that, if I grew up in a household, not saying this is for everybody, not saying this is for me, but growing up in a household without a male and not really seeing a man of a household, some, you know, you might have the idea that this is how it runs, and then you meet a guy, he's struggling to be the man in a relationship, but like that could be the downfall of your relationship, because you're so used to doing it on your own, or not being able to learn to lean on your partner to, you know, be the head of the household. Not necessarily in that, you know, it doesn't work all the time. Sometimes the woman is the head of the household and the man is okay with that. But, you know, in that relationship, for you at that particular time, that's an issue. And that may be good in one relationship, but it might not be good in yours. So kind of learning that the balances of what works for your relationship. Because even though that's what you used to saying, that may not be, it may not work for you in relationship that you're trying to be in with that person. And then both of you learning to be able to understand that and find out that balance that works for you guys.
Right, right. Go ahead, Dane.
Yeah, what Sonny just said was actually interesting. Let a guy be, let a man be a man in a relationship. Um, some women don't know what that means because they're not a man, but some men don't know that what that means either, because they
That
didn't
part.
have. What if they didn't have a male role model in the house either?
Mm,
Yeah.
right, right.
Be
Yeah.
taught that. So it's kind of like both of you are learning a role for him and actually growing in a relationship together. Sometimes it's detrimental to a relationship. Sometimes it can be beneficial for both of y'all to get closer together, and for y'all relationship, y'all have some bond keeping y'all together and keeping y'all help y'all grow together as y'all both explore what his role is and
Yeah.
yours, because you're learning as a single mother, you're learning how to step aside and be submissive. Not a bad word,
Oh yeah, I just saw something about that. I think somebody posted in the group about that.
We had that discussion in the group chat. Let him be the man, and you letting him be the man.
Mhm.
So it's a good and bad thing with that.
Yeah, and him learning how to be like to your point, some men don't know how to be a man in a relationship because they, and it's not that sometimes it's like I said, it was balancing a relationship because if you meet somebody, and this is where we get to certain things that people have an issue with. So if I meet Dame and we're dating, but I make more money than him, and I'm the person that brings in more money, and he's okay with that to an extent, but at the same time, it doesn't mean he can't be the head of the household, because I mean, like I said, you have to kind of find that balance and what works for you, because I think, like, I know for me, I have a problem with always not necessarily not letting a man be a man, but leaning on a man, if that makes sense. So like if I pay all the bills, like in my household, right? And then we combine households, it'll be odd for me to because of my personal background, not necessarily a dating relationship, but like in life relationship. With my like in life, for me, I'm used to being the person that does all these things. And that way, because of my past, I was homeless, different things. So for me, I have this mentality to where I'm so used to I want to make sure that the bills are being paid because I don't want to be homeless. It has nothing to do with a relationship. It has everything to do with what I've been through.
Right.
And so for me, I find it hard to be okay with, and this is what I struggle with even now, to be able to say, like, I've never had a man pay my bills or take over a bill for me, and I'm just like, okay, he got it, and I don't have to worry about it. And for me, I've been asked out because of other people, so I have that issue with letting go. But I guess if I meet, and when I do meet the right person, and I feel safe enough to not be in that mentality to have to worry because I have to make sure that bills are paid, I have to learn to let go, and not necessarily let go in the sense of not care about it, but like not be worried about it because the person I'm with got me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If
It
that,
goes.
I don't know if I got what I was trying to say, but does it make sense?
No, yeah, it made sense, Sonny. Don't worry about it.
It's kind of interesting to say that, though, Sonny, because in your relationship, nobody can dictate what you do in your relationship. So if you and your significant other have come into agreement because of your past trauma of being homeless on the street, and he's okay with you taking care of certain things, like I'm not a professional, so my wife is going to make more than me just because she has a skilled trade. You have a skilled trade, so most likely, depends on who you date, you're gonna be making more than them. If you're okay with that, that's in your relationship. As long as you can still let him lead in a different way, not financially, because you're making more than him. That's between y'all two. It's nobody else's business how y'all lead, how you do your
Well, I would be
finances in your
okay
house.
me, I would be okay with them leading financially, but I just want to make sure that the person that I'm with is not necessarily of the same mind, but understands that trauma. So I'm like, for me, I don't want to be like, if I'm in a sense in my mind allowing you to be a man and you're the person that is taking, like, if you're that person, like, because you could be like me, you're the person that pays the bills, you got the same mentality as me to an extent, but not to where my trauma is, right? So you're the type of person that you want to make sure the bills are paid on time, that everything's taken care of. For me, it's meeting that person that's not necessarily what I've been through, but like on the same way, we're gonna make sure the bills paid.
Like, it's just about being fiscally responsible. That's all.
Yeah,
I mean,
that part.
And the thing is that I think some people get confused at what leadership means, and that was something I just thought about, is that it just made me realize a lot of people put so much emphasis on salary, right? In terms of if a man can lead or not.
Yeah, because he can be better person, financially better than me, but I make more, but I'm irresponsible.
Right. And or like you said, in a situation where you are fiscally responsible, but if you have a man that's maybe not making as much as you, but is still making those fiscally responsible decisions
That part.
you would want, then it's still a good match. It's still a good leader.
Yeah.
And then I think that we also have to keep in mind that there's more facets to relationships than just how much
financial.
money do you make.
That part.
There's the emotional portion of it. There's being able to take care of the family from a protection standpoint, from let's make decisions on how we're raising the kids, religion, if they're doing extracurricular activities, morals. There's so many things
Yeah.
when it comes to a relationship, a family, and things like that. It's so many facets to that. It's not just financials. So I think that the thing of having letting a man be the responsible one in the home that's responsible for that family doesn't end just because the paycheck doesn't meet a certain amount.
Yeah, because he can lead in so many ways that that's what I mean. Like letting, for me, like that's what I said, I have no problem with that, but like it's just for me, certain things I know I've been told, like, hey, be mindful of this because I know how you are. And I'm like, yeah, because I'm that person. I'm a take charge person. If I'll ask one time to get it done, and then if you don't do it, I'm right on it. And it's like, wow, do you let me? So I don't want to be that person that, okay, like, because that can deter somebody, because if you're always like you won't allow me to take the lead. And I want to meet that person that I've know can take the lead, and like I don't have to be like, I don't want to nag you to make you be the lead, if that makes sense.
Right. Well, yeah, and that's the thing too. Like Dane was saying earlier, was some men don't know how to lead a household or don't know how to take care of a household. They may not realize what their role or what facets that they need to be concerned with, and making sure they're guiding. I think it was something somewhere I was at. It may have been a religious service, or it may have been a class or something, and they were talking about this, and it was funny because somebody brought up how the woman is the leader of the home, and then the person that was talking about it was like, no, even in that situation, a man could be like, oh, I think it would be best if we put the dishes this way because they'll dry better, or he may be able to say, oh, you know what, I see the way you do this. I think that's a good idea for us to continue to do these things this way. Like you're doing laundry on Sunday because it's cheaper on the electricity bill, doing laundry on Sunday versus doing it on Monday. You know what I mean? So sometimes the decisions you make may be supported by your man, or it may be guided by him. So that's still him taking that lead, or taking that headship to say, you know what, I'm going to support you in what you're doing. And that's the other thing, is that a lot of people don't realize, is that being a good leader is about supporting. You're not there to just spout off. And I think that's why a lot of people are trying to push the positive narrative of, like, submission isn't bad, because sometimes being submissive just means taking guidance and just being able to say, you know what, this person gave good advice, and then rolling with that advice, or being able to say, you know what, I'm going to give him advice, or give him some information that'll allow him to make the right decision for us as a family. So I think it's important to keep that in mind, versus like, oh, this just means that this person is going to lord, and then making sure that person realizes being a leader, doesn't mean you're just spouting commands and demands.
Yeah, and I think that's even for us women, a lot of us, like women, we think we're a good woman, but like, are we? And it's not to bash it, but like, are you a good woman? Period. Like, do you understand what it means to be a woman in a relationship? Not necessarily being less than, because I don't even think of submission as being less than. It's equally is like the Bible said. For me, it will be equally yoked, equally matched with the person I'm with. I'm allowing that person to not necessarily. I don't want to say allowing because, but having this person, this man, be the head of the family, and making him in not necessarily putting him at a higher pedestal of you. Y'all, you both,
Right.
I feel like, should be on the same plane. Y'all should be like a team.
Exactly.
You're supporting your teammate, your life mate, for that matter. You're supposed to, if where they lack, you should be matching it and equaling out on that. And yeah, so if, like I said, luckily for me, I've met people that are opposite of me, but in the opposite in a good way, because if I'm not a saver. I mean, I can save some money from paycheck to paycheck, but like saving, that's not my strong suit. Luckily, I've met people that know how to save and have put me on to some things, and kind of open my eyes to different ways of saving and different techniques. I don't, outside of that, my daughter is like the best saver I know. I don't have it. I don't have it. So luckily I've met people that show me the way, and dating them or relationships with them in certain things that I didn't know how to do. Whereas, you get a girl version of Bob the Builder. So this guy may not know how to build things or don't have the patience to put stuff together, but I got that. Doesn't make him not the leader of the relationship. It's just that's my strong suit. I like that. It comforts me. It relaxes me. Where he may be the cook, and I would love that. I mean, I know how to cook, but I would love somebody who knew how to cook probably better than me. So I can learn some stuff, but different things. So you gotta be open to getting in relationships and balancing each other out. It's not a competition. It's supposed to be a team.
Exactly.
You know what? I got some good relationship advice over the years. A long time ago, somebody said relationship is like a car. You only can have one driver. One person. No, both of y'all trying to go to a destination. Yes, the passenger, your other half is your passenger. They can give you the right way or another suggestion of what road to go down, but in the long terms, it's you making the decision, me, which path to take, left or right or go straight. Whatever which way I go, she's supposed to have my back, ride or die chick, right? So that's the way I'm gonna go, and hopefully she don't put in my face if we go down the wrong road and something bad happens. She won't say, "See, I told you to go this way."
Right.
She's gonna have your back and be like, "You know what? Try again next time. Make better luck next time. Go down a different path."
Yeah.
So something Sonny said made me want to go ahead and ask this question next. Is what are your red flags or things that you're working on? I know we always talk about our deal breakers and the red flags that we may see in others, but what are some of the things that you feel are things that you should be working on so that you can be a better partner?
For me,
actually, let's start with Dan because I think you already mentioned one that you were already working on. So that's why I wanted to ask this question.
Okay.
So me and Dan can answer.
Dang, I have no idea. Procrastination.
So you're just perfect, huh? You're just perfect out here. That's what you're trying to
say? 10 years. No, I actually, my wife can tell you better than me. I know communication is very hard for me to, because that's my trauma right there. Communication, being stifled. Growing up, I couldn't really communicate the way I wanted to, or if I wanted to communicate, sometimes I didn't know how to communicate. That's my major one right there.
Okay.
I love you, Sonny.
No, I think like I said, one of my things I got to work on is saving, allowing a person to take charge without, stressing or overthinking, because I'm an extreme overthinker. I'm 10 steps in and I'm already reacting to the 10 steps before one step happens. So, and then I think one of my red flags is shutting down for me. I like if I've been through a lot, right? So
Right.
one of my things that I do is if it's I don't like conflict, and as much as I'll probably cuss somebody out, I don't like conflict, especially in a relationship, like because I don't like arguing, um, because I know me, I will hit you where it hurts. They say women's tongues is lethal. We'll say some stuff and it'll be real, and it's directed. My whole point is if I'm arguing with you and I get to that point, I'm trying to hurt your feelings, and so for me, it's a red flag if I shut down. I had to learn to communicate better when I'm upset and not like I can communicate, but I think it's more of my response is probably more emotional.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I can effectively communicate when I take a beat and come back, but I also understand that not everybody likes that. So even with relationships, not even just relationships like dating or in a relationship like romantically, I shut down and I don't communicate and I don't address things immediately. Like so, if something bothers me, I it builds, and then the pen fell off the desk and all hell broke loose because now I've let something bottle up in me.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that's one of my red flags. If you know that you're doing something that bothers me and I'm not communicating that to you and I shut down, I'm probably going to blow if it like repeatedly happens. And then with a little slightest thing, I'm going to go off. So, and it's going to be full bull systems, all systems go. And so I need to work on that for me because I don't, I'm very nervous to address things because I think for me it's like I get to a point if I say something, am I nagging?
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to receive it and take it or like hear what I'm saying versus going off on the one word that I said? But like I said, you're talking about I'm. That's one of my I had PTSD about that, so I don't like conflict in relationships. So it's like my whole goal is to shut down and I'll kind of bottle it up and like you'll be telling me what I'm not doing right and what I need to correct, and I'll be sitting there just like I won't say anything back. Like you need to correct this, and the third. I just won't do it, and then like all of that time builds up, and then on Wednesday, 2 years later, when something happens, everything comes out.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Now,
Yeah. That's huge.
possible for is it possible for you to shut down and come back to it later in a calm, more respectful way than to
I
going
try.
off on them?
So it depends. So sometimes like I try to, but I think the if relationships that I've had like I said, I'm talking about not just romantic relationships too, but I noticed that they want to communicate and get to the problem then. And like
Mm-hmm.
so some people don't want to leave it and sit and then come back, right? So in that moment while you're trying to communicate with me, like you're probably like frustrated at this point, like why aren't you I can't because I know like I have to like I said it's something I'm working on. I have to be able to communicate well with you and not hold it in because by the time I finally react to it, it's like a bull in the china shop. So it's like because you should have known what was bothering me, even though I never really told you because blah blah blah. But then again, to my defense, I may have tried to tell you one time and you didn't hear me. So at that point,
Mm-hmm.
when I try to tell you you didn't hear me, I'm gonna pack it in. So
Right.
it
Right.
depends on who the issue is with that if I, but like I said, it's something I have to work on with myself and try to not shut down because I do. And like I think I'm learning now to address stuff, but in a more healthier way.
Yeah, yeah. That one of my things that I worked on, and I mean, I can't say I'm 100% perfect, but that I definitely had to work on to be better in relationships was being able to speak up about issues instead of being non-confrontational or trying to just say, you know what, it'll get better without having to have these hard discussions, being more comfortable with having hard discussions, which I can't say are comfortable. Hard discussions are going to be hard, right? But I think being open and honest with your partner and being able to say, hey, this is how I feel, or this is what I'm picking up from this situation, and being able to have that discussion with them, and trusting your partner to be either empathetic or to have a listening ear and possibly a solution to help the two of you get through that.
Yeah.
In the past, I definitely have felt like I didn't want to either bother my partner, or that it wasn't worth me mentioning, that kind of thing. And then, maybe later feeling either, resentment from that, or feeling, like I didn't matter enough to that person because they didn't get better. But how would they know, right? If you didn't make it
you
clear,
didn't tell them, yeah,
either didn't tell them or didn't make it clear that it was an issue. And like I said, I'm not 100% perfect with that. There's definitely, I can't name any and I can't think of any, but I'm sure there's something that's come up in the relationship that where I wasn't, where I felt like I was doing this better, but where I wasn't still 100% of the time going, hey, you know what, this is something I want to bring up. But the other thing that I worked on, and it kind of goes along with it, is honesty. Being unafraid of the consequences of getting in trouble, or the consequences of making someone mad, or
story
even
in my life, Willie. That's a story in my life.
Yeah, or even just feeling like like you're protecting somebody from something by not giving them either the whole truth or the truth in general. One of the first things I learned a long time ago was, omission is omission is the kin of lying. So
Yeah.
when you're not giving somebody the whole truth or giving them all the information, you're lying to them. So I did learn that early on. But then I also learned that, over time, that, just not being completely honest, because you think you're protecting somebody or protecting this relationship. But, the thing is that when either the truth comes out, or the issues flare up, or, things kind of get out of hand, these things will be revealed anyway, and especially when it comes to, omissions or dishonesty, it makes it worse. Somebody definitely will feel better if you bring it to them than for them to find out later on from somebody else, or in the wrong way, or at the wrong time.
Yeah, it's so funny because my cousin said that. She said, we're grown. Why are you lying? You're not gonna get in trouble. You're giving somebody the opportunity to hear the truth, good, bad, or indifferent, and they can deal with it. But lying, it's basically, it's like a slap in the face, like, because it's like you don't want that person, you don't want to give that person the opportunity, I think, to decide what happens next.
Right.
So
give them options, right? Give them the option to either accept or work through or deal with that situation, or that scenario. Because if you take that choice from them, they're going to resent you more on the back end.
Yeah, that's like people say with it, like we said, even though we're not touching on it about deal breakers. My deal breaker may not be cheating, but my deal breaker definitely may be lying.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you sleeping with someone,
in pretty much all relationships.
Like, yeah, and like, so it's not necessarily for me personally, but like I know people whose deal breaker isn't cheating. They've worked through that, right? And move forward because the person was honest. They, went to therapy, a couples therapy, whatever they did to get through that hump, right?
Right.
Is whatever they did, but like the fact that you didn't give them the truth. And like I always tell people, especially guys that I date, you're gonna lie to me, but somebody is desperately seeking to tell me the truth.
Yeah.
I'm gonna find out, because some people just want you to know, because like, and then you get that when you're happy in a relationship, right? And somebody wants to burst your bubble, like, ooh, but you over here lying, they're about to tell me. They can't wait to tell me. And then it's gonna hurt more, because it's like, if you really didn't expect that, this is what it's devastating to think. Not to say that your relationship is perfect. It's devastating to think something for however amount of time it is, and to be crushed and realize that, because by the time your person hears it, it's like times three. The disrespect, the lie, like, and then like if you think of, and when they think about it later, all the times that you said this, like it, because if you lie, like I just saw that if you lie, you'll probably kill me.
Yeah, about to say, yeah.
Like we're grown, tell me. And I think I feel like it's one of those things, like my cousin always said, we're grown, we lying for what?
Yeah.
We're not our mom, never get a beating.
Yeah. So and that's the thing, is that I think, that goes along with trust, right? And that was something that I definitely had to work on after a couple of bad relationships in the past, was trusting, the next person. And I think a lot of people don't realize that those lies will cause you to lose that person, to lose trust in you, because you're, taking away their options, or taking away that information from them, where they may feel that, they needed this, or they needed to work through that, or that y'all as a couple needed to work through that, and now you've taken that away, so now they're going to lose some trust as well.
Yeah.
Another thing that I definitely still haven't been 100% successful with yet, but definitely working on it, and I think I've definitely gotten better in succession of time, is time management. I was a huge workaholic when I was younger, taking way more time out to do work, or to take care of my businesses, and especially having multiple businesses as well as a day job, and not having a lot of time for my partner, which it's funny, because my last thing is kind of a result of this, but making more time for my partner, making more time to spend quality time with them, as well as with others, like my family and friends and things like that. That time management crosses multiple types of relationships, not just your love relationships, but your family relationships, your friendships, things like that. So I definitely, worked on that for all those reasons, so I could spend more time with my kids, so I could spend more time with my friends, so I could spend more time with my partner. So I definitely feel like that was something that was very important for me to figure out. I definitely am much better at it, as you guys can probably attest. I definitely, spend a lot of time traveling and vacations and stuff, as well as
be out here living his best life. I
exactly.
In years, I feel away.
Yeah. So between vacations and outings, and this weekend I spent time with my son, spent time with a loved one, spent time, also had a chance to catch up with some family members, and just over the phone or quick visits, but having time to do that, because I wasn't spending all my time at work, or spending all my time taking care of a client and things like that. So, that's definitely one of those things that I had to learn how to manage better, and to rededicate that, time and into other things. Now, my last thing that, and I'm sure my current partner will probably agree, is I probably need to spend a little bit more time alone, doing things by myself, which I never had a problem with doing things by myself, and I don't have a problem with it. It's just that I am the type of person, I want to do everything with my partner, and it's not from a codependent standpoint. It's more of a just, it's like, if I'm having a good time, I want her to be having a good time. If I'm doing things, I want her to be doing things. She values her alone time, and I more am willing to give that up, to spend time with my kids, to spend time with her, to spend time with, family members, things like that. So I'm more apt to give up my personal time for other people, versus, working on having a little bit more of a balance for that. Like I said, in the past, I definitely have spent my time doing, things by myself and that kind of thing, and I still do. I mean, shoot, I got to go to the gym, right? I do that by myself.
But you want her to go with you. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I had my son going for several months, you know, with me. And then, you know, when it comes to activities, there's certain activities, you know, I'll do with some friends and things like that. Literally just went out to a couple of restaurants. We missed you, Dame. Went out to a couple of restaurants this past weekend, you know, with some friends. So I always like I said, I always value spending time with others way more than I just, you know, because I'm always like, well, you know, I did a lot of things by myself in the past, so it's not a big deal, which is still good, you know. But
I think a lot of guys go through that. I know. It's funny because I cracked when you said like she likes her a long time. I think it's funny because I laugh. I know we all heard that comedian. I forget who it was talking about how men like to be left alone. Like he wants you somewhere in there, like in the vents, but leave him alone type of thing. I think that because I always tell people like I like my space, so I want you in my space, but I also want you to leave me alone in my space. Like you could be there, but like leave me the fuck alone over here. So I crack up because I find that I date people that are like similar. They want to be like their time is consists of going to work. And I think that balance of finding out your work schedule, that person's work schedule, having time for your kids, family members, and then having time for your significant other. But at the same time, having you time because I like my time. I like even if I ain't doing nothing, I'll be laying down, taking a nap or watching TV. But at the same time, I find that most of the guys that I've dated, like, oh no, what you doing? Like, want to talk to me, hang out with me. And I'm like, okay, no, because I just want to go home and watch some TV and be unbothered and just lay around and not, you know, look like anything. And you know, not that I have to worry about that because I'm very much myself, but like, you know, just be able to lay around and not care about anything and just, you know, enjoy my time, like sleeping in, waking up, thinking about something, going to get sleep, but not always having to be on the phone. She's like, what you doing? Oh, I got bored. I want to talk to you. It's like, no, I want to talk to you right now. I want to watch this. I want to binge watch this show for like 6 hours, and I just want you to leave me alone for 6 hours. But then it's like, well, why? You ain't do nothing all day. You didn't want to talk to me. It's like, no, I wanted my 6 hours of binge watching and napping in between. Like, but I just find it funny because we definitely do have to be okay with having our own time. We definitely do. I think time management is a big thing in relationships, especially we're working folks. We have to work. I'm sure you guys can attest to this, especially Dame. You work, your wife works, so y'all got to make sure y'all have time for each other outside of kids and stuff. And sometimes you just want to, you got to balance it out. You got to sneak in little dates here. You got to sneak in little quality time here. And I like that. I think I love those types of relationships where y'all both work, but y'all Jamie, yes, I want 6 hours to binge watch the show on Saturday and go. Like, every time I don't want to talk to you in the morning. If you ain't bringing me breakfast, I need you to leave me alone. Give me about 6 hours. I see you. You know, we'll get with each other about like 1 or 2. And you know, that's when I feel like going outside unless you're bringing me food and shut the fuck up, but I can watch it. But you know, men don't want to watch our girl shows. I want to watch it.
I do. I love watching the girl shows.
I don't want you getting mad because I'm sitting watching Baddies East. And you over here like what? Because I don't, you know, I done waited for the series to go off. Now I got to watch all the episodes together. And you like, oh, you sitting there and I ain't talking to you. No, because I'm watching this and stop talking to me while I'm watching it. And I want people. I don't want you talking to me while I'm watching something.
Hey, I'm over here watching every episode of Love Is Blind, Married at First Sight.
Yeah.
But definitely feel you there. Go ahead, Dan.
You know, it's funny because before the kids, me and Jasmine, I had my man cave on one side of the house, the bedroom's on the other side, and the living room's in the middle where we stayed at. I would peek out my head out. Hey, how you doing? You okay? Okay, cool. What you watching? Oh, okay. I don't want to watch that. I'm going back in my grand cave. That was it. Now we got what day is it? Kids got school. We got work. You got work this day? Shoot, I do too. When we gonna get this date in? We'll get it in eventually. How about Tuesday? Random day.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, you got to schedule some time. You got to schedule it. You know, whatever it takes. You know, definitely got to have that balance because you know if you don't have that balance, then you know things get neglected. You know, and I definitely think that you know sometimes it's easier, especially when you are a working person busy with not only work but kids, and then like you said, having your own alone time as well. That relationship can suffer if you don't put time in for that as well. So yeah, even
You
if you
already
got
see
to schedule
Jamie gonna be
something
mad
scheduled.
if somebody try to get 6 hours of not talking to you. Like you said, 6 hours is real. Like, what you mean 6 hours? You like 1 or 2 might be good, but what you mean 6?
Right,
Like, I mean,
Hey, that's an important 6 hours. You just don't know.
like it might
right.
not necessarily be 6 hours, but you binge watch a show. You know how you get lost in once the first episode, then
Oh
you
yeah.
just wrapped up in chilling.
For
8 hours later.
sure. So the next question is, what are you bringing to the table to make you a great partner? So what are some of the finer things that you have accomplished or have worked on to success, and what makes you a great catch, or what makes you great as a partner to your current partner? What do you think is the most valuable assets that you have?
Am I answering first or is Dane?
Oh, let's go ahead with Dane. Go ahead, Dane. Dane looks like he's ready for that to answer this.
Yeah. All for it. I'm taller than her, so I can reach stuff. Um,
No.
I can open up cans.
That's
You
actually
know what?
I
You
I
know
don't
what?
I don't. She knows where always going to be at. I'm always going to be in my man cave. So if she ever needs me, I'm always there.
Right.
I can cut the grass. Yep.
You
Take the
know what?
trash
I'm
out.
sick to death of Dane.
Right. This man.
I, at this point,
Anything else before we go to Sunny?
listen. I must be doing something right. I don't know what I'm doing, but for 10 years, I still
I
got
don't know
it.
what I'm doing, but she's still there, so
Right.
something good.
Funny. 10 years
Jasmine, if
with
you're
the same
watching,
woman.
just type one, just type one in the keyboard and hit enter so we know if you need help.
You know what?
Blink.
Right. Blink if you're being held hostage.
Yeah.
Hey, 10 years, oh, I'm very submissive to her. That's probably what it is. No, it's the other way around. I support her. So
What's up? Well, go ahead, Sonny.
look,
So for me, I think I bring I think I bring support and I want to say support, consistency, and understanding you. So for most of my people I've dated, they are amazed that, because like I said, as much as I talk, I pay attention. So the fact that I pay attention to them, so all the little things that you don't like, some people may skip over and not think matter. I pay attention to the person I'm with. So I bring, not to saying that other people haven't brought that, but I bring that to the table because I'm like paying attention to things that you like, you don't like, favorite things. So without me necessarily having to ask you out loud and in public, I can kind of pick up those things on you. I'll support you, good, bad, or indifferent, but I'll tell you privately where you've
That's
gone
big.
wrong.
That's
Where you've
important.
gone wrong. Yeah, because I'm not gonna do that out loud and say, hey, blah 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 blah. Because if I got with you and I know that you lacked a certain thing, I know that I'm not going to correct you out in public. I'm going to support you. So and that's I'm gonna support you whatever you're trying to do at life. Whether it's whatever goal you're trying to achieve, I'm going to be there to support you to the best of my ability. Whether it's, if you're doing, if you're starting a business, I'm going to make sure that I'm there to help you the whole way through and just be like help and, encouraging you throughout the time that you're doing this, make sure that you're getting where you're going. Cause sometimes people get discouraged and you just want to give them like, wise words and stuff like that. I'm going to talk to you, not at you. Kind of the situation. But I think I mean, I can't really name all the things, but I feel like that a support system is amazing because a lot of people don't really have support systems. They have people that are along for the ride without necessarily actually supporting them in what they're trying to do. Because if I love you, I want to see you do good. So I want you to do best at whatever you're doing and be able to help you. Not in the sense of saying that I help you do this, but that I was there and I helped you, like not to say it, but to show you it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
And supporting you with parenting, supporting you because most at this point, anybody that I meet has kids outside of me. So most of them, if I date them, will get to meet people. They most likely have kids. So support you in your parenting, help you with certain things that that you may need help with as it relates to that, or giving you a different perspective with different things that you're facing while helping to be there, support and love your kids, those types of things. Like for me, it's like being that I will always want to compliment my partner as best to my ability. So
right.
I think that makes me a good person.
That's huge. I mean, I definitely count that as one of my strong points, is being very supportive of my partner. I definitely love to be able to not only support them emotionally and support them, in the family, but also, like you said, their dreams and aspirations. I try to be very supportive, understanding of that time commitment they got to make to that, being able to be even that partner in doing certain things, or that assistant when they need an assistant, or just being a sounding board, whatever the case may be. Just like you said, having the ability to be a good supporter in that. I definitely value also my ability to be empathetic, being a good communicator, a good listener.
Working on it.
Really working on it, yeah. And I think that's a big important thing, because a lot of people go through relationships. I've gone through relationships where you feel like you're not being heard. You know what I'm saying? And so I definitely try my best to hear my partner, understand where they're coming from, see their point of view. I think a lot of people have disagreements, or they may not agree on something, or don't see eye to eye on something, and never take the time to realize why their partner feels the way they feel about something.
Exactly.
Or what got them to that point in life to feel the way that they feel. And I do my best to do that, trying to understand, trying to be cognizant of what got them there, and respecting them for that. You know what I mean? I may not agree with your answer, but I respect your answer because it's coming from you, that kind of thing.
And you understand why they came up with that. Because sometimes just understand the person and why they think the way they think. And
exactly. Yep. Exactly. Another thing that I think is that I bring to the table is the fact that I'm just self-aware. Things that I know are going on with me, how I act, why I do the things I do. There's certain things, of course, that are going to escape you as to like the why, but knowing that you're doing certain things, or knowing that you have certain traits, or knowing that you have certain personality traits, or routines, or things like that. Just knowing yourself, I think, is an important thing, important aspect of being a good partner in a relationship, because then you can explain yourself to your partner, or you can communicate better with them as to how you operate. You know what I mean? Because nothing worse than being in a relationship with somebody and they have no clue that that they're doing something wild and crazy, because they just think it's normal. They don't think about like, oh well, this caused me to be like this, or this thing is why I'm doing this, and there's no stopping me. So if I feel like something is negative, I definitely am trying to work on getting to the positive side. If something is brought up to me, then being able to be like, you know what, yep, I do this and I'm aware of this, or I understand why
that's compromising. You're able to compromise. And I think that's a good thing to bring to the table. I think a lot of people are set in their ways, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you think that that's okay. But I think like I said, it's one thing to force someone to change, but to compromise. And maybe, like I said, if something that bothers you, or something that you need to work on with yourself, I think people need to be empathetic and compromise that, or I don't know if the word is compromise for this situation, but like understand that you're willing to change, but it's not an overnight situation. If that
Right.
makes
Yeah,
so.
yeah. At least show that person grace when they're in that transition of change or in that transition of improvement. That's another thing is that sometimes we want our partners to either change or to do something different. But getting to understand that if our partner wants that from us, that it may not be about a change, it may just be an improvement. There not everything is bad. Some things you just may need to do more of. That's a big thing. Sometimes we do things and then we stop.
Yeah.
And it may be the things that our partner really appreciated from us or really liked about us. But then if we stop doing it and we make no effort to go back, they may need to bring it up as something that we may need to improve on continuing, or get better at, being more consistent at that. That's another thing I feel like I do too. And I think you mentioned that, Sonny, is being consistent. I try my best to consistently do certain things, be more conscious of how I'm doing things and why I'm doing things and who I'm doing it for. That's something I definitely value in myself. And, I definitely feel like my partner will value that. So I try to be consistent in being consistent. So,
Yeah.
You know what?
just more deliberate of on being consistent about certain things, or the things that are good and positive. So yeah, definitely, I feel like
Being
I
intentional
bring a
is
lot to it.
and
Say again.
sometimes having a conversation isn't always having that deep conversation or that world breaking news, and you have to world shattering news conversation. Sometimes it's just casual conversation to get to know each other, shoot the breeze, maybe information be shared or whatever. Sometimes just have a nice conversation with somebody, your spouse, your significant other, is just good enough just to be there with somebody.
For sure, for sure. Yeah. So, last thing I wanted to ask before we get out of here is, what do you think makes a good relationship? Bringing all those things together, what does a good relationship look like to you, Sonny?
I think a good relationship, what it looks like to me is communication, empathetic, being empathetic with one another, understanding each other, and working on being good for each other, like working with each other, because that's a big
Mhm.
thing, right? Understanding that some things that person does you're not gonna like, some things you do they're not gonna like, but working through and loving each other through the good, the bad, the indifferent, and
Yeah.
willing to push forward. I think it was so funny because I remember early on in my dating history, people used to say you never really know if the relationship has a solid foundation if you don't really go through stuff, right?
Mhm.
So not necessarily like going through stuff like crazy stuff, but like
Right.
relationship,
Experiences. Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
relationship shit, right? So if
Mhm.
you can make it through the good, the bad, and all that, and still survive, or go through, like Smooth used to say, going through some of the experience you can go through is health wise, health scares, different
Mhm.
things. If a good relationship shows you a good relationship, you go through that with not grace, but you go through it, you fight through it, and you make it work, right? So you
Mhm.
always have to always be communicating. I don't think anything's good if you can't communicate. I don't think anything's good if you can't trust the person that you're with. So and loving somebody and understanding that they're not going to be good all the time. They're not going to be. Sometimes
Perfect.
it's going to be hard, but sometimes
Mhm.
it's gonna be real great. So I just think a good relationship, for me, it looks like communication and just going through everyday life, choosing each other.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. I like that. Dane.
Sex, sex toys, um, sex with Sunny on her show. Uh, um, forgiveness, understanding, because you got to be able to forgive and understand why somebody made this stupid mistake or just an error. Um, and we're all human. We're not perfect. We're going to rub each other the wrong way. No matter how much we love them, they're going to do something that pisses you off. Might be something small like leaving the milk out all night, or hey, you told your mother that we're about to have a kid before you told me. No, just stuff like that.
This all sounds real specific.
Forgiveness.
I was gonna say it, but I'm over here minding my business. He's still there.
Hey, Sonny, if you don't hear from me in a week on the join the group channel, you know why.
Yeah.
Nice knowing you. No, just overall, just understanding and forgiveness and open communication. You gotta be able to understand your partner's weirdness. You know, might be normal to them, but it might be weird to you.
Oh man, so that's a good one. That's a good one because I definitely have that conversation. I've had that conversation a few times, and definitely we talk about that. So, but yeah, no, definitely having an understanding of where your partner's coming from, what they're doing, how they're doing it, and like you said, loving them through that. You know, no matter how different it is from where you are, as well as. And I like to think about communication too, but also, you know, being supportive of one another, being empathetic of one another, being understanding and as well as fighting for what you have, you know, knowing that things, I think one of you just said this, is that things aren't always going to be great, you know, things aren't always going to be perfect, but knowing that you can work through that together. You know, a good relationship sees two people coming together, no matter if it's with similarities, with differences, but being able to meld that together into a cohesive unit that can work through all things good and bad. So I definitely think that makes a great relationship. Like Sonny said, the communication, like Dame said, the great sex, you know, so, and when you don't have that, you know, you have other things, you know, and I think that's the other thing is realizing all that you do have together, you know, seeing that
in real life.
if it's more good than bad, that you still have a good relationship. It doesn't have to be, you know, 100% perfect. It can be, you know, 80%, you know, it can be, you know, a couple of downs, or it can have a couple of mistakes made, but knowing that you're going to bounce back, or that you're going to work through, or even if it comes to having to do counseling or whatever, you know, is necessary, because you know you have something good that's benefiting the both of you, that's making you a better person. You know, I think that's one of the things I always value is when I'm with someone that can make me a better person, that can challenge me, that can make me feel like I'm doing the things that I need to be doing versus just coasting along. You know, the best relationships for me are the ones that, you know, I know that I got to be on my 10 at all times. Got to be putting in the work and not just coasting by, because it does get complacent when you're just complacent, when you're just, you know, not putting in any effort, and it's being allowed, or vice versa. You're, you know, that your person is not putting any effort and you're just allowing them, you know, because it builds resentment.
And then not knowing what to do with them because you're just like, oh, I got you. Okay.
Yeah, taking it for granted. Yeah, taking them for granted. And if, when you're not taking each other for granted, it's usually because you're being deliberate about doing things to make each other happy, doing things to keep each other, you know, in a good place, as well as supporting each other through the good, the bad, you know, family's issues, you know, personal issues, whatever the case may be, being able to do that for each other. I think that makes a great relationship.
Yeah, I agree.
So my wife just busted in the room and said that
she
didn't know.
What up, Bill Jazz?
She like, I didn't answer the phone because I was at work, and she didn't know what to do. So she, so Sonny, this might be my last broadcast with you. So nice knowing you.
Hey yo, Dame, you're a damn fool.
But yeah, so So great topic, great conversation. Definitely, we'll be seeing this continue to be discussed all throughout the ages. Really, to be honest, I mean, people are always going to be talking about relationships, always going to be talking about.
I like that question of the what's your red flag. I think that because like a lot of people acknowledge everybody else's but don't acknowledge their own. So it's like I like that question. That was a dope question.
There's a lot of people who can't be realistic with themselves. Can't be real. Like they always,
it's always the other person. That's a problem. It's
always. Yeah.
Well, it's easier to see somebody else's problems than yours sometimes. But
what's the saying? It's easier to see. It's hard to see the trees from the forest or something like that. So it's because you're standing in the middle of it and you don't realize that you may be the issue.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So guys, make sure y'all go check out our Facebook group, GFT Join the Conversation, over at facebook.com/groups and /GFT Join the Conversation. Always have these great topics, always have these great discussions with the crew over there. Make sure you get at us over at our website at gftradioshow.com. All our links are there. Links to our socials. We're at GFT_radio on Twitter and Instagram, GFT Radio on Twitch, GFT Radio Network on Facebook, as well as get our merchandise over at gftradio.com. Say it again.
I see y'all rocking it out tonight.
Oh yeah, for sure.
This, that, and the third, and we just gave you the fans perspective. All right, I see y'all.
Had to represent for the crew. Listen free on demand 24/7 on all your favorite audio platforms. And you can catch all of our shows. We got tons of content for you guys. GFT Radio Show here on Mondays at 10 p.m. The How to Hustle podcast with Hype every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Chevy and Styles recap. I believe we will be back soon because we actually have Loki season 2 just started last week. Episode 1 was so much fun watching that. So I'm definitely looking forward to this season. So make sure you guys tune in because we'll be having some recaps on that. Yes, sir.
I got a question. How come you haven't done any Star Wars?
Because Star Wars sucks. Anyway, so Sex with Sunny Live, 2 Fridays out the month. Make sure you check out Sunny and the crew, 6 p.m. 2 Fridays out the month. She just had a series of great shows. They were pre-records, but they were still awesome. They were probably, I think Sunny even said, they were probably even more wild and raunchy. So make sure
we had a lot of fun with those. We had a lot of fun.
For sure.
Word,
Well, not all Star Wars shows suck, just most of them. The Mandalorian was awesome.
Almost all of them.
Almost all of them. So, Sunny, tell the folks where they can find you.
All right, guys. I apologize again tonight. Me and my camera was not working. So, but anyway, you can interact with me at IamSunny_D, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and TikTok. Go to my blog, reservedlyme.com. I got to add some updates on there, but you read the content that's there. All right.
You rocking that picture, girl.
Yeah, right.
Dang.
First of all, I'd like to give my condolences to Hype. He lost a family member last week. Much love to you, brother. But you can find me another level up on Instagram, Shinlo21 on Twitch and on the Xbox Network.
For sure. As Damon mentioned, shout out to Hype. Make sure you interact with him over at I Am Hype on IG and Twitter. How to Hustle Podcast with Hype, Tuesdays at 2 p.m. here on YouTube on the GFT Radio Show YouTube or GFT Radio Network YouTube. And also check out Custom Hustle World and H2H Cleaners over on Twitter and on Instagram. So make sure you guys do that.
Yes.
And it's your boy, Willie Styles, in the building. Get at me everywhere at Willie Styles on IG, Twitter, and Threads. I'm Willie.Styles on Snapchat and TikTok. Visit me over at stylesradio.com for all the hot tracks that I'm listening to. WillieStyles.info for all my links. Make sure you guys do that. Until next time, hopefully you have a great week. And don't forget, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can be made aware when we have our next show. Look out for Styles and Chevy recap coming soon. Loki season 2 is upon us, so make sure you guys check that out. and we are out.
Yo, it's your boy Dame here.
Hey guys, it's your girl Sunny D.
Yo, it's your boy Smooth from the GFT Radio Network.
What up, though? It's your boy Willie Styles in the building.
Join us Mondays at 10 p.m. live on Twitch, YouTube, and our Facebook. And if you miss us, don't worry. You can catch it on our website, gftradioshow.com. And if you feel like talking to us every day, join our Facebook group.
At Join the Conversation, the group where you can discuss all kinds of topics.
Catch me also, Fans Respected, Dope Sports Show. Holla at your boy.
You can cop some merchandise over at our store, teespring.com/stores/GFT Radio. You can get t-shirts, sweatshirts, masks, and even more.
Next time on GFT Radio, what are we talking about? Join the conversation to find out.
Make sure you get at us on GFTRadioshow.com for all of our audio and video